Hello and welcome to the Reiki Women Podcasts project. And it's Bronwen Logan here. And today I have with me the lovely Aurora Hutchinson, who is a Reiki practitioner and teacher from Virginia in the USA. Welcome, Aurora.
Hi, nice to be with you.
I have a question for you. And my question is, what drew you to the system of Reiki?
Well, I think like a lot of people, a crisis brought me to Reiki. At the time, it was 2011, and my partner was really seriously ill, and I was feeling very stressed. And my sister-in-law connected me with a Reiki master teacher, and I took a few sessions with her and was just really overwhelmed by how powerful it was. And that eventually led me to being initiated in Reiki 1. And not only did I want to do that for my own self-care, but then I thought I could support my partner as he was going through his illness. And what happened was he eventually passed. But it was a really powerful lesson for me to understand that healing doesn't necessarily equal cure, and that as we share Reiki, that we have to let go of the outcome, and that it will unfold for everyone's highest healing good. And so it's important to just get out of the way. So that's what initially drew me to Reiki. And it's been such a powerful self-care practice for me. I'm also a meditation teacher. And I really feel like the practice of Reiki, whether it's self-Reiki or sharing with others, is really like a deep meditative practice, where you can really touch into the whole of who you are and the whole of who the person is with you. And so it just really connects us with this sense of connection and wholeness.
Those sorts of lessons are very profound, and they're ones that, I think we talk about a lot, but it's very hard to move into that space so wholly that you talk about. I think that does take your understanding to a different level by having gone through what you've gone through.
Yes. And also, as we were talking before we started recording about how I'm in a transition right now, is I just, my mother just passed, and I was her caregiver in that scenario. And she was able to transition at home, and I was able to share Reiki with her through the whole experience of her illness and passing. And again, it was just such a powerful experience in terms of being able to share how much I loved her without having to say a word.
Yeah, it's very meaningful. And I'm sorry to hear about your mum. Those are the connections that, tie us to this world in many ways, aren't they? It's very beautiful. And it's very wonderful that you had the opportunity to be with her in that way. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So grateful for that.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I've sort of had the opposite of that, of, like the idea that I was so grateful that when I was pregnant, that I had the system of Reiki. It's sort of like that, the whole cycle, isn't it? It's a wonderful thing to be there for that child that's inside you, and the whole idea of birth, and then also at the other end of the spectrum of when we actually leave to have that to be with someone in that way. So it's sort of got that whole cyclical nature then, hasn't it?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's very powerful, isn't it, in your life to experience those things?
Yeah. And I really felt like having Reiki, the practice, and the just that understanding that it's what connects all of us.
Yeah.
That, you know, there's really this sense that there really is no death, and no separation, and it's just our sense of you know, just so much more appreciation for every moment in life. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very beautiful. I just had a friend die this week, and I have not really been around death a lot. So for me, it was quite shocking, and I just it's a hard one to come to terms with sometimes, isn't it? Well, always, I imagine, because we don't talk about death a lot in our society, and but that idea of renewal and of constant flow and ebb, how we are a part of that constant flow and ebb, each one of us, is quite moving.
Yes, absolutely. Very powerful.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing that with us.
Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, and I appreciate being part of it.
Well, thank you for sharing your voice with Reiki women all around the world.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye, Bronwen.